Hey Bulldogs, let's see what's happening this week on Code Blue Now. Johan keeps it fresh with a look at a farmer's market out west. Looking to buy a used car? John's definitely got you covered. And finally, we take a trip back to Long Beach once again as Carmen takes us to the Dog Adoption Center. Now please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you.
Hey Bulldogs, I'm Chuck Luarasi here with Calvin Mungai, and welcome back to another spectacular episode of Code Blue Now.
Hey Bulldogs, feels so good to finally see some fresh faces at the desk.
It feels like Carmen and Jordan were basically running the entire show.
It definitely won't be the last time you see them.
Bingo! Not only was that the thing I wanted to hear, but it's what's up next Friday, April 5th, as junior and freshman class will be holding a bingo night from 6 to 8 p.m.
All ages will be welcome, and it will take place in the school's cafeteria. Each bingo sheet will cost you $3 each, and it will be cash only. If you'd like more information, Mrs. Reagan, Mrs. Haskell, or Mrs. Reagan.
Class of 2025 and 2027 aren't the only ones who are holding a class fundraiser in the months of April. The seniors like me and Kelvin are holding a Jake and Joe's fundraiser on April 11th.
If you're ordering in the house, be sure to use the word fundraiser on your check. If you're online ordering, order fundraiser as an item and put the name of your organization.
All this talk about food is getting me a little hungry though. I've been trying to watch my diet for baseball season.
Well, I don't know about you, Chuck, but when I want healthy, affordable food, I try to hit up a farmer's market nearby.
That's actually great advice. Thanks for that, Kelvin.
For more information on a farmer's market that's in our home away from home in California, Joan's on the scene.
Downtown Long Beach Farmers Market have been producing customers for years. But back to the present day, people come from all over.
Because the market has been here for so long, a lot of the vendors that are here are vendors from back in those days.
My grandparents were farmers, so they actually did do farmers markets up north, like Northern California area. But as far as my generation and my parents before me, they weren't really into it.
More of the community that had been shopping here back in the days when it first opened. A lot of the people back then who were kids and they used to shop here with their parents, now they're adults and they're bringing their kids to shop here.
As a weekly event occurring every Friday, people come and go, but the food is here to stay.
One of the main things I really enjoy is that I get to cook outside. I mean, the weather's beautiful, so instead of being locked up in a kitchen and, with four walls around me, I do get to cook semi-outside.
We try our best to create a sense of community here. So a lot of the vendors get along, a lot of them, they're friends with each other.
Vendors and everyone involved with the event have developed a loving culture of agriculture.
I think it's a good chance for the community to get out, people to get out of their houses, especially in a city like Long Beach where people could be cooped up in the buildings around.
Regardless of who you are or where you came from, when you're surrounded by good food and fresh produce, everyone blends together. But for now, I'm Johan Rodriguez Vieira, reporting.
I sure wish I had a chance to check it out while we were there, but I was just missing Holbrook too much.
Yeah, you missed out big time. It was the best.
Speaking of the best, Holbrook sports is back in action and ready to rack up some wins.
Let's send it over to my partner in crime, Jordan, for the weekly sports report.
Thanks, guys. This week in sports, unfortunately, due to the forecast, all sports are going to be canceled for today. The varsity track meet versus South Shore Votech will be made up at a later date. The varsity softball and baseball games versus Rockland will be made up on Monday. In national news, MLB opening day is today, and the Red Sox take on the Mariners at 10:10 p.m. And we'll send it back to you guys at the desk.
Well, thanks, Jordan. I know we got the best bromance in the bag, but for all my upcoming games, like Jordan mentioned, I don't know what I'm going to do to get through.
I mean, maybe I can spot you as the senior's best driver.
I mean, yeah, seeing as you have a car and I need one, I might have to take your offer on that.
Well, if you're looking for your first car and need to make a smart choice, I think I know someone who could help.
The used car market is hard to navigate, especially for young teens looking for their first car. John is here to tell us more on the process.
Picture me rolling. Are you rolling in a nice car? Looking for a used car can be easy and also harder than you might think. Not every car is perfect, and there are some things that you're going to spot if you're looking for the perfect fit. Buying a used car can be exciting, but at the same time, exhausting. It's very satisfying to know exactly what you want and the type of car you're looking for. I cannot really answer that question for you. A car that I would look for is a sedan. It's a sporty looking car, which is a factor that personally appeals to me. Sedans are very good cars, like the Chevy Malibu, Ford Fusion, Toyota Camry, the Honda Civic, and Honda Accord. And also you can look for a great and reliable SUV, like a Chevy Equinox or Toyota RAV4. This is your choice. There are many differences throughout purchasing a vehicle from a dealer or a third party. If you buy a car at a dealership, the dealership themselves can go through the registration process of the purchased vehicle, getting your plates and sticker for the car to prove that it's passed inspection. If you are buying from a third party, you will have to make an appointment at the RMV to register your vehicle, get your plates, the title, your vehicle, if you want to sell it in the future, and also prove that the car is owned by you. There are a lot of different factors for buying a car. The exterior of a car does not always tell you everything about the car. You need to drive it around for a little bit, test the suspension, and feel how the car turns. The car should feel natural and smooth to drive around, not super stiff, but at the same time, you also need to make sure the AC and heat works right for the winter and summertime. And of course, the car needs to be responsive with its brakes so you can slow down at any point in time. Well, you want to look for a car that you really like first, something you like the look of, a specific brand you want. Find something that's easy to repair and can use basic tools for every single time something might be wrong with the car. You don't always have to go to a dealership and pay them to fix the problem. You want to make sure to measure things down. One thing is you don't want to spend your entire college tuition on your car after graduation. It's very important to save your money. The ideal price range for a car, I would say, is the highest is $12,000. You may have to go over the price once you add up the taxes and the 2.5% tax Massachusetts takes when you're purchasing a new vehicle. And you should also be able to consider what you're going to pay for insurance once you figure that out. You likely won't fully pay for the car right away. Usually a dealer would be looking for a deposit up to $500, then later on you would gather the money to pay for the car outright. There are plenty of payments that you have to worry about when getting a vehicle. If you opt for the dealership option in terms of purchasing a car, there are multiple fees including electronic filing fee, the title, inspection, and the regular fee, the 6.25% tax, which makes a car a few extra $100. For younger drivers, insurance costs are very high because of the younger people's inexperiences on the road. Remember, having your license isn't a pleasure, it's a privilege. And stay safe on the road.
Maybe I might have to take some tips from John when I get my next car.
And when I get my hands on the Chuckmobile, I'll go wherever I want.
All right, Chuck, but with that car, you can take a trip down to the Bikini Bottom because that's exactly where we were last week with SpongeBob the Musical, featuring all your favorite characters like SpongeBob, Patrick, and Squidward. The theater department worked overtime to make this show possible, and the performance last Friday and Saturday showed just that. Congratulations to everyone who performed. You guys really made it the best day ever.
Again, a huge shout out to Miss Newman and the theater department.
Yeah, you guys definitely showed up. I can testify.
I wish I could be back for the next show, but before I get ahead of myself, we have a few more announcements.
Next Thursday from 6 to 7, there will be a junior parent college info night in room C125. Pairs of juniors can come and ask any questions they might have on the college process.
And while you might flex some school spirit for any future colleges, why wait to show yours right now with the brand new HMHS Travel Cup? The Class 2024 is selling cups for $25, and you can get them in blue or white. Contact Miss Callahan if you're interested in ordering.
Our class really has upgraded from doing our regular fundraisers to making customized cups.
It's really a great time to be a bulldog.
Although not to be confused with the actual dogs, which is what was being sheltered by one woman in Long Beach, California.
Let's see more about her mission and how she changed one veteran's life forever.
Last year, almost 1 million dogs were euthanized due to shelters being filled to the brim with abandoned pets. Ending up on the streets, it's a miracle that they find the perfect home for them to live their fullest life.
These dogs had never been in loving arms, they had never been in a bed, they had never seen a sunset. So everything that had to do with life that we take for granted, they were experiencing for the first time, and it was a powerful, moving experience that I just continued to do it.
Being a special training shelter and home for abandoned dogs, Your Canine Trained has been continuing to work to give these dogs the life they deserve.
The love that I see from the families that adopt them and give them, it's a testament If it was left up to the people prior, they never would have had a chance, but that love really does conquer all.
Not only do these adoptions benefit the dog itself, but also the owners taking them in and giving them a loving home.
My connection to Grace is that I adopted a dog from her about 3 months ago. Some guy had her in a lot, no cover, no food, nothing. God had his hand on this situation the whole way through. It just came together so perfectly, I couldn't have done it.
All animals deserve a home where they are cared for and respected. Grace and the Canine Training Shelter have been making miracles for these dogs and will continue to do so as they host more dog adoptions in the local area. This has been Carmen Sotlet reporting.
It's always nice to see animals get a new home. Plus, those adopting get a new friend, so it's really a win-win.
For sure, Kelvin. I would pick up a pet for myself if it wasn't almost time for me to head off to college.
Speaking of college, it's officially scholarship season. Be sure to join the class of 2024 scholarship and graduation classroom to get those scholarships. Most are due early to mid-April.
But before we wrap up the show, we have a few more exciting announcements with Boosterthon and senior superlatives.
A huge shout out to those who were a part of the fundraising effort as we raised almost $10,000. And the final winners are as follows.
6th grade Isaiah Bernard, 7th grade Reagan Leahy, 8th grade Emmeline Callahan, and as for the high school,
9th grade Isabella Pension, 10th grade Colin Cahill, 11th grade Sophia Curran, and 12th grade Cameron Campbell. Congrats, you guys, and good thing we ended on the seniors too, because we still have to reveal senior superlatives.
Let's do it. Go first.
For class clown, we have Tyrone Duran and Lendy Joseph. For most athletic, we have Cameron Campbell, Jordan Chaffee, and Armani Perkins. For best laugh, we have Janisa Augustine and Wilfredo Pimentel. For most artistic, we have Angel Alonso Castillo and Vinicius Barbosa. For best smile, we have Jordan Chaffee and Kelvin Mangai. For most talkative, we have Angel Alonso Castillo and Janina Richmond. For class devil, we have Jalik Fernandez and Jordan Islam. For best hair, we have Gina Mercado and Amelia Nunez and Wilfredo Pimentel. And for class angel, we have Samantha Ditos and John Kelly Celestin.
And for most likely to sleep in class, Giovanni Hughes and Jake Wild. Most likely to get caught texting in class, Lendy Joseph and Janina Richmond. Most musical, our very own Deer Patel and Serena Terabasi. Best dressed, Vinicius Barbosa and Tyrone Duran. Always snacking, Hansel Francisco and Katie and Mullings. Worst driver, Elijah Nguyen and Janina Richmond. Most studious, Derek Fox and Kelvin Mungai. Best driver, Gavin Moore and Adrian Soto. Most likely to be late to graduation, Janina Richmond and Jake Wild. And most likely to make you smile, my best friend, Jordan Chaffee and Sebastian Velarde.
For best bromance, we have Cameron Campbell and Lendy Joseph, and we have Jordan Chaffee and Charles Rossi. For best friends, we have Angela Barzola and Deborah De Silva, and Madison Burnett and Amy Yip. For most gullible, we have Anna Braga and Janina Richmond. For Mr. and Mrs. Holbrook High, we have Amelia Nunez and Armani Perkins. For Hall Wanderers, we have Tyrone Duran and Jake Wild. For most likely to be famous, we have Charles Rossi and Armani Perkins. For most likely to be successful, we have Derek Fox and Kelvin Mungai. And for most likely to be upset over not getting a superlative, we have Angel Alonso Castillo and John Filipino.
Well, in that case, you got to get back to work. So on that note, I'm Chuck Rossi.
And I'm Kelvin Mungai. We'll see you next Friday.